The content presented is for entertainment purposes only. Some content may not be suitable for all viewers. Viewer discretion is advised. Well, hello everybody, and welcome to the Periodic Review. I am Jay Rhymes with my lovely co-hosts, Rhiann and Alakai.
Yee.
Hi.
Well, welcome.
Yee.
So, let's go ahead and let's get a little
That's
update, Mr. Alakai. Tell us a little bit about how you've been doing.
Whoa. Mic is too close to my mouth. Pretty good. Oh, we're fixing cameras now. I'd say I've been pretty good. I started working out again for the first time in a couple of years because now I can actually do that now that I've had my surgery done. Yeah. And so that feels really good. Not gonna lie, looked at the I was looking in the mirror the other day and I was like, my butt looks pretty good. out of one of those moments.
I love it.
Yeah. Got some new training stuff done at work, so that's been cool. And yeah, not much else new is really going on. So, but I see that you've got some new stuff. Like you've got a new computer now. That's your other one died.
That's very exciting. Yes.
Did you have a funeral? Did you have a funeral for your last one?
No. I actually spent a little bit of time and I reformatted the hard drive after I pulled what I wanted off of it, and it still kind of runs, sort of. I'm too scared to try to do anything live on it, but
Which is fair.
yeah, I mean it runs Diablo 2 okay, so I mean it's still here and alive.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I feel like with every computer, once you see that blue screen of death, it's like, well, I guess we better prepare for the worst here.
And sorry, can't stay live for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, it went the way of the buffalo. We're not going to use it anymore for the streaming purposes. So
What the heck
but
does
she's
that
still
mean?
there. But she's still there. She's just over here, just kind of chilling.
What does Way of the Buffalo supposed to mean?
Well, I guess it's not. Well, it's a.
You ever see Dances with Wolves?
Yeah, like 30 years ago.
Well, it's a saying of
Dang, you
like
guys are old.
things kind of like yeah, we are about things just kind of like like fading away or like things going extinct or things passing on. It's just kind of a saying that people use. So
I've never heard it before, so.
okay.
But that's okay.
Also, I saw, we were already talking about this, but I saw Top Gun last weekend. Yo, such a good movie. Such a good movie.
I feel like Rhiannon and I should have chosen wisely on our movie choices this past weekend. We did not choose wisely.
What'd you guys choose?
Wait, it's not. Well, yeah.
Yeah, we chose the Fantastic Beasts series.
The first two were good.
They were pretty dang good, and
I
the
like
third
the
one,
first two.
See, I watched the first one, and
kind of meh.
I watched the first one, and I don't remember anything from that movie. For me, like, my rule is if I don't remember anything from the movie, then it's probably not that good. So,
I think that's fair. Rhiannon, why don't you tell us a little bit about what's going on in your world? Why don't you update us?
A
While I
lot
adjust
of
your camera.
stress and anxiety. No, it's
same.
work is good, but it's a lot because it's a lot. We're moving. We're picking up 2/3 of our operation and moving them.
Yeah.
And this was determined about 2.5 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of things to like get done and do and process.
Mm-hmm.
And that, so
Moving in general is just so much work.
well, yeah, moving in general, but then
it's terrible moving. I hate moving.
and when you're doing it for work, it's totally different because it's like,
Twice as difficult.
well, yeah, because there's a lot more coordination.
A lot more
But-
people to deal with.
But the other thing is you're still required to, carry on your day-to-day processes and responsibilities while doing this whole thing. So it's just,
Right.
a lot. And just because you're moving doesn't mean deadlines for certain things go away or anything. So it's just a lot. It's not a bad thing.
Mhm.
It's just a lot.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's a lot to deal with for sure.
exciting in a lot of ways. It's just a lot.
Yeah.
Did I mention it's a lot?
Yes, you did mention it was a lot, and it was a lot of anxiety.
Yeah. So, you know, I kind of just come. Well, and then I'm doing school too, but
Yeah, both of you are still, grinding away on those schooling things.
it's stressful.
Do what we can.
I can imagine.
I have a lot of reading and writing that is required this semester. It's not my favorite.
It's especially hard when you work full time too, while you're going to school full time. It's like taking on twice the workload that you didn't ask for. Well, you did ask for, but
Yeah, but you get to also pay for the other workload that you're taking on, which that bugs me too.
One
I can
pays
imagine.
you, one you have to pay for, and it's whack.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to get on that soapbox. I will if we keep talking about it. But it's tired. The one thing is like I'm on a screen like all day at work on my laptop and everything. And the last thing I want to do is come home and get on my screen to do homework. But I have to. And it's just so
Right.
I was thinking about that the other day.
fatiguing.
I'm now working a job where I look at a computer all day, where I come home to look at a computer for the rest of the night.
Yep.
So-
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a lot.
Yep. That's
and I'm
me.
like, oh man, I really should be reading a book right now or something.
We really should be doing something a little more smart.
I say
I
that,
guess, smarter.
but you know what's so funny is I say that, but I'm like, what do I do when I come home? Usually, I come home and I just want to numb out because I'm so exhausted. So what do? I sit and look on my phone, which is a screen. Maybe it's just small. I don't know. It's like it makes no sense.
I wonder what the average amount of screen time is. Let's see.
Probably too much.
Let's look it up right now.
Let's make our bets. I'm gonna say it's at least 2 hours.
Okay, so we're gonna do adults right now because kids are
adults?
whole other level.
Nah, I'll still say 2.
Wait, you say 2 hours a day of screen time?
For adults, yeah. On average, I will say.
Oh, you're so off.
I'm probably am. I don't know. I'm just
That's
spitballing
probably
here.
for you because the majority of your day you don't work sitting in front of a screen.
This is true.
I was gonna say this might be different for people
Yeah.
that have a job and sitting in front of a computer. Okay, but Jake, what did you say your bet was?
I said 2 hours.
2 hours, Rianne.
6 to 8.
6 to 8. Okay. According to data from Data Reportal, the average American spends 7 hours and 4 minutes looking at a screen every day.
Dear heavens.
I'm sure that varies much more when you have a job looking at a computer.
Yeah.
So, I spent 7 hours of my day looking at a computer at work, and then I went home, watched TV for a couple of hours, and I also watch TV while I work out too. So I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Favorite pastime.
And then you have to include don't do this, but when you're laying in bed about to go to sleep, you're looking at your phone. you're not reading a book, you're looking at your phone.
Yeah, Jacob, let's talk about that. How late did you stay up last night watching your phone?
Last night?
Yeah.
Last night. I
'Cause
want to say it was about 11.
Nope, it was later. Because I woke up at 3 and you were still watching it.
No.
Shit.
No, it wasn't 3 o'clock.
But you slept all day yesterday too.
Yeah, I did.
Was yesterday your day off?
I was not feeling good. Sunday I was supposed to work on Sunday, but I did not feel well enough after being
that's right.
sick
That's right.
overnight on Saturday and things expelling from multiple ends and
Your
We are
dog
not getting graphic.
your dog was just staring into my eyes for a
fever and
second.
stuff.
Aww.
He's
He's
sitting there
adorable.
just like,
He's so adorable. You
well,
can kind of see him.
Now he's looking at
You
me.
can kind of see him.
Yeah. Aw.
Yeah. So I mean,
Good boy.
yeah. So I mean, from I know it's been a few weeks, but we did finally get a new PC in. we're starting to get back into the swing of things as far as like
And it
streaming.
has cool LED keyboard and
The
all
mouse
this
and
crap.
the keyboard lights up and all
He's
that.
like, he is
It's really
so
incredible.
fly.
You
It's
have
very pretty.
you have the whole Gamer Boy station going on now.
I really do, and I wasn't.
God.
I just wanted something that was working good and working well. I didn't really
Yeah.
care if it was pretty or not, but it just happened to be pretty. I'm like, that's cool. I like it. It's nice. So let's see, what else did what I've done? Spent some time separating the gaming content from the podcast content, because I think I was confusing people, just putting it all on the same one. So the periodic review will be separate from my gaming content. So just so you guys all know, you can check it out. It's going to be on YouTube, and twitch.tv, and it's going to be JRhymes Gaming. So JAYREIMS Gaming. I don't have the links in the description just yet, but we will moving forward. But you can also check me out over there. And we're streaming Diablo 2 Resurrected content over there. Also, this episode is sponsored by viewers like you, so thank you. Hopefully we'll earn your subscription today, so don't forget to hit that red button to subscribe, to click on that damn bell so you don't miss content releases, and make sure that your notifications are turned on. The best way you can support the channel is obviously to check out our videos and visit us over on Spotify as well. You can find the periodic review on the go over on Spotify, which is very exciting. And the second best way you can support us is obviously if you have a $5 and a $10 laying around, you can always throw it our way. The donation links are in the description below.
That was a very good commercial, sir.
I'm getting better. I really am. Today is the first Monday of the month, which means Mr. Alakai has our topics for today.
Yep, I sure do. And I figured the topic that I initially chose, we'd probably spend a decent amount of time talking about, just because there's a lot. So, I mean,
It might take up the whole podcast
it
today,
might take
honestly.
up the whole podcast, but if we do have time, I did want to talk about something else, which we will get to maybe. If not, we'll get to it some other time.
I'm not gonna lie, I might get long-winded on certain things, considering the fact that this is a case that involves domestic violence and all that stuff.
Which I'm so glad that you're here for, because as someone that has so much experience talking, or like just in this in general, I figured like you probably have a lot to say about it, and I wanted to hear what you had to say about it. So
Yes.
If I get too long-winded, you can be like, "Okay, shut up." But yeah, it's there's a lot to be said.
And I have I literally started a whole outline, and part of the outline was about this. So I actually have some interesting statistics that you all might be interested in, and I'll interject those when we get to that point.
anyways, I figured since there was a verdict that came out finally, and they ended the trial, that we talk about the whole Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard case. 'Cause
That's what everybody's talking
that's
about.
what
right now.
everybody's been talking about the last. You know what's crazy is, like, I just feel like there's always that one big thing that's going on in the world, and you know what I've noticed is conversations about Johnny Depp and Amber Heard have lasted longer than the conversations going on about the war in the Ukraine.
Or Hunter Biden, like
Okay, so
laptop,
because it's
or
a distraction.
anything else. Yeah.
Like, in all honesty, their publicity on this is a distraction, so that we're all preoccupied with Amber Heard pooping on bed and Johnny Depp's mega pints, so that we don't know what's really going on and what they're doing. A mega pint of wine.
I poured a very large glass of wine. I felt it necessary. Believe me, she's been a headache.
Seriously.
Literally. God.
Yeah.
oh
So-
man.
Anyway,
Frick, dude. I have to be careful of my F-bombs, man. Like, oh yeah, we're on the podcast here. I can't
Yes,
say
we
that.
are. No, we're all out of practice. It's all good.
Oh man. Anyways, so it sounds like the verdict ruled that Johnny Depp got Amber Heard has to pay Johnny Depp $15 million. But, of course, this case had to end with a but.
There's always a big but.
There's also points in the case that pointed towards Amber Heard's defamation. Quite obvious. Like, I mean, everybody hates her now. So
yeah.
I guess Johnny Depp also has to pay her $2 million, which essentially sounds like Amber Heard really just has to pay him $13 million. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know how that whole thing works. But anyways, sounds like essentially it was proven that Johnny Depp's defamation was a thing, and the whole article that Amber Heard wrote was the cause for that. So
okay, so here's what it says. It says 7-week trial finally concluded with the 7-member jury. The 7-member jury ruling in favor of Depp, awarding him with $15 million over his defamation case against his ex-wife. The jury also awarded Heard $2 million, finding that Depp had defamed her through his attorney.
Which, speaking of his attorneys, oh my goodness, Camille Vasquez.
Jeez.
She's a badass. She's a badass.
Oh!
That reaction, though.
Like, that woman is fearless. Oh my goodness. And it's so funny because, like, when, like, at the very end when the when Amber Heard's legal team are, like, reading their statements at the very end, trying to convince the jury and the judge, and it's so funny because you can see Camille Vasquez, Johnny Depp's other lawyer, I forget the guy's name, I feel so bad, but Vasquez totally stole the show. I call it a show. That's not a good thing.
It was totally a show.
But
it's totally a show.
Anyways, like, you could see all three of them just sitting there like, what in, like, what? They're all so, like, those of you that are watching through the camera right now, just, like, you can see the facial expressions that I'm trying
It's
to.
seriously.
Miss Heard, did you say that you're going to donate those funds to that?
I pledged them.
I pledged them. That's
It's
not what I
so-
asked you, Miss Heard.
I used them synonymously.
You know what's crazy?
I'm like, oh, girl, we need to. Oh, as a development director, I'm like, whoever you pledge that. Anyway,
It's so funny too, because, like, you can tell throughout the trial, there's so many times where she had to catch herself. Like, I think at one point they were talking about with the bruise, she called it a bruise kit and not like a makeup kit. Like, like, oh my goodness, you basically just outed yourself and you don't even realize it. Like, everybody at that point was just like, oh, like, she slipped. But
yeah.
Wow.
Well, and even like just some of the things, like where she's going to blow her nose, but it totally like
looks like she's
literally
doing something
everybody
else.
looks at it and it's like, did she just sniff something? Because that's
I
what it looked like.
believe it's supposed to come out of your nose, Amber,
Right.
not go in. But anyways,
Jeez.
honestly, all I have to say about her is she is crazy. She is freaking insane.
So, and
Like-
here's the thing. Like, they were trying to prove that she had a history of trauma and everything, and so she reacts differently.
Yeah.
And,
Isn't that everybody though?
but 100% trauma does, like, screw you up. But that's what's hard is because, like, now that she's made these, I don't know, like, it bothers me because, yes, she was a real victim, but not by, like, she was an aggressor in that relationship just as much as, if not more, than Johnny. You know what I mean? There's usually, it was just a toxic relationship and there was no real primary aggressor in that situation. It was crazy. But that's how a lot of cases are.
Yeah, I think one thing I've learned is that abuse isn't something that's necessarily intentional. It seems like it's more impulsive, but like when you're in a partnership, like, intentions don't really matter. It's the effect, and the effect led to a whole ass trial.
Right.
Like, and to Johnny Depp's defamation and even Amber Heard's defamation, and yeah, like, and that's the thing is one of the lawyers on Amber Heard's team was like talking a lot about the intent behind the article that initially started this whole thing off.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, bro, who cares about the intention? Like, look where you're at right now. Look where you're standing. Like,
yeah, look at the
What
rippled
difference-
effects, you know.
what difference does it make? Like, come on, dude. But
Yeah, it's true because like intent doesn't matter. Like whatever.
No, intent does matter. It's really it's really important. There's definitely a difference with somebody who plans to do something from start to finish versus somebody who says something to you and it evokes an emotional response, which you could have done in the heat of the moment instead of just, oh, I'm planning on doing this like XYZ. Like there's, you know what I mean?
yeah, I know what you mean.
I guess, yeah. I don't know the term. It escapes me right now.
I don't know, but it's also really interesting because you watch just like their body language and their tone of voice and just the way that the two talk when they were both brought up to the stand. How Johnny Depp is just so calm, relaxed, and he's like taking time to process his thoughts because he knows that like every single word that he says on that stand is going to be taken to heart, or not to heart, but it's going to be used,
Scrutinized, yeah.
right? And so you can tell he's just trying to be very careful and try to be very smart about it, which I felt like he was. And then you have Amber Heard going up there, and it felt like she was putting on a show for everybody to watch. It was like watching her, I'm like, I don't buy a word that you say, to be honest.
It came
I
across
couldn't-
as so inauthentic, and
I couldn't buy anything that she was saying. Like, I don't care. that whole thing with the I stepped on a bee, like, or my dog stepped on a bee.
It's like, what does that even have to do with what's going on right now?
Yeah, I was like, what? But everybody's just been making memes on that, and I'm like, oh my goodness.
It's honestly almost like she's in a completely different world or universe than everybody else is in, and she's communicating like how she's experiencing like this different multiverse because it seems like what they're talking about is not. It's not entering her mind, or at least she's mishearing, or she's interpreting it as it's going into her brain. And then once it links to her mouth, like a lot of stuff comes out that's just nonsensical.
Yeah, I couldn't buy a thing that she was saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
hard to watch. It was really hard to watch.
I had lots of eye twitches going on whenever I watched her go up there. I'm like, this is painful.
So one of the things I thought was
I
really
think watching her attorneys was painful. They
Yeah.
kept objecting to themselves and
Yeah.
like
Well, even watching
It's
his
so-
attorneys too, just like you could tell that they're all like, they all have like this old WTF look that they give each other like almost every few seconds. They're always like,
what
you
the-
can get, and it's funny because there's a few times when you can see Johnny Depp lean over to his lawyer and just be like, you can tell he's whispering something to
Yeah.
her. That's but I don't know.
It's so
Wild.
funny. Like on TikTok, there were like all these people making shirts with like all these memes.
Shirts?
They were like
Yeah.
a mega pint of wine and like I have a jar of dirt.
Oh, these the sound
like
bites.
literal phrases from Johnny's
It was a jar.
testimonies.
A jar of what? He had a jar. A jar.
Was it a jar of dirt?
And we're all sitting there like,
It was
jar of what?
so funny. So good times. I don't know. It's hard because I'm sure, like, I don't know. Amber Heard was crazy. Like, there was so much weirdness in that relationship. It was weird. It was just
yeah. But also, like, did you guys see the whole interview that happened with when they brought what's his name from TMZ up onto the stand, like all the reactions from the audience
Oh,
whenever he went up,
so
like
funny.
everybody, like there was some things he said when everybody in the jury is just like, oh, like, you could see the jaws dropping.
He was a witty little like.
I
he
think
he was
everyone's
funny.
misinterpreting what I meant to tell TMZ about this. No, misheard. This is not.
No, but it's interesting what he has to say about it all too. Is like when his paparazzi received the tips of like where Amber was going to be when she was going to be there. Like it definitely comes off that she was the one that I think that she was the one that tipped them off. I think she gave them the information of like, this is where I'm going to be, and like she wanted them to get those pictures of her.
Oh, for sure.
Like, yeah.
It's obvious that she is so incredibly publicity hungry.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, otherwise, why would she have written this whole letter
Which is funny too
or
because
op-ed or any of that? Like, she wanted to get in the publicity hype of the whole Me Too movement.
which never once did they ever like
But
throw that out there. But
well, yeah, they didn't want to because I'm sure they didn't want the Me Too movement people to come after her for false accusations or anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Considering the fact of what was going on.
And that was a pretty big thing because, yeah, there were so many accusations that went out. And sure, you know, there were a handful that were substantiated, but there was a lot that were not substantiated. And they were just jumping on that hype train as Amber Heard did.
yeah, which I mean, but it's crazy that you bring that up with the whole publicity thing, Rianne, because like even at the very end when her lawyers are giving their whole spiel, they brought up like the whole idea like Amber's been through this trauma. Like, of course she doesn't want to be in this light. She doesn't want to talk about it. Of course she's going to be wearing this makeup. Of course she doesn't want to like talk about it or anything. I'm just like, my guy. Like, she wrote an article about it. She wrote
invited it, like flat out put a big sign up with like big flashing lights saying, pay attention to this.
She tipped off the
paparazzi.
She tipped off the paparazzi as to where she was going to be and when. Like,
Yeah,
if you're gonna,
that's intent for sure.
if you're gonna bring up the argument that she didn't want the publicity, she wanted the publicity. She wanted it.
And how about the bruises that she allegedly covered up with makeup that didn't exist at the time? Or that brand of makeup at the time.
That's what I'm saying. Is she didn't even like
She lives in another universe, bro.
She messed up her own speech when she was talking about it. She was like, "Oh yeah, a Bruce kid." I mean, the makeup, and I was like, what? What?
Yeah.
Like,
It's just not. It's an interesting. It's weird. The whole thing is weird, and it's interesting to see how people get so upset over. Because it's hard. Because like working in the field that I do, we have a philosophy: always believe victims. Right? Like, start by believing. Because most people don't come out to go through all of this. But at the same time, when there's this case with Amber Heard, like, it just seems everything seems so disingenuous that you can't help but think. Like, you can't help but think, like, this was a total publicity stunt for her.
Well, and Johnny Depp is not, like, by any means, like, completely absolved of all the things that he was involved with. I mean, I'm not going to say that he was a complete dirtbag, but there's definitely some things that, you know, he was not.
well, think about those text messages between him and Paul Bettany. Like, those were some pretty gnarly text messages.
Yeah, like, he's not completely absolved of not being culpable in some of the negative things that are happening in their relationship.
Yeah, and like,
Well, that's why it's so weird, is because it's hard to tell who's the primary aggressor. It's just a toxic.
especially
It's all he said, she said.
Yeah, especially with those text messages and the video that they had released of him reacting, like in the kitchen when he was pouring his mega pint.
Yeah. Well, I think what's really interesting too is, you know, I don't think we've really heard too much of this kind of not to be confused with misheard, but I'm not hearing a lot of like a lot of people talking about, okay, well, because in the things that are being shared in this corporate media that we're in right now, in social media, like what's being talked about, like what are you going to see and hear when you're just browsing through the different things? You're going to see a lot of women talk about how terrible men are versus the other side of it where women can also be the aggressors, and that's something I think is really interesting.
I haven't seen that. I haven't seen a lot of women.
I see it quite a bit, especially on YouTube, especially on TikTok.
Maybe that's your algorithm then.
No, I don't go seeking for that stuff. Like,
well, that's part of the whole point. The algorithm puts it in your face for you.
Well, that's definitely true when it comes to YouTube. YouTube is actually probably the better of the social medias as far as like giving you more of what you are pausing and watching more often of. Like, they're really good at giving you more. Like, so if you watch puppies, a lot of puppy films or a lot of zoo films and stuff, or like short videos and stuff, you're going to get a lot more of those. Like, they're really, really good at that. But some of these other algorithms I think are more nefarious in like promoting more things to make people see or view things differently than what's really going on in the world. Because if everybody's watching, everybody's hearing it quite often, you know, a lot of times people are going to believe what they see and what they hear. So I'll go ahead and bring this up now while we're here. Now we'll go ahead and we'll assume this is true. Oh, my link doesn't work. Okay.
Whack.
Yeah, that's whack. I literally had a link in my little thing here and it doesn't work.
Then they give him a whack.
Whack.
But there's a quote in this study that happened in 2006. A study 2006, physical and psychological aggression between 453 cohabitating couples with young children indicated that there were instances of minor aggression initiated by men in 23.3% of the cases, while there were instances of minor aggression initiated by women in 33.8% of cases. Women also lead men in cases of severe aggression, with male-initiated aggression in 8.4% of the cases and female-initiated aggression in 11.5% of cases. And I think, if I remember correctly, there were some cases that were cited as well on Louder with Crowder where they found that women are actually, in more cases, by sometimes several percentages more often in initiating aggression, which I thought was quite interesting.
It's funny. That reminds me of the stand-up that I saw the other day. I was like, in relationships, when a woman tries to get back at a guy, they might key your car, they might spray paint or vandalize your garage door, they might egg your house or something. Mm-hmm. But when a guy gets aggressive, all the Jews disappear.
What?
Nothing? Dang.
Wait, I don't know if I get it. I'm so confused.
I'm sure there's a couple people out there that get it.
Maybe they can explain it to me.
Yeah, maybe.
Are you going to explain it to me? Or am I just going to...
No, you're going to sit and wonder. I'll send you the clip of it later. I'm sure some people watching understood it.
Okay. I'm like, I don't know what's happening.
But I do appreciate the fact that this case gives hope for a lot of men out there that feel like they aren't being noticed in their relationships, because like I do get where you're coming from. In a lot of cases, I feel like the man isn't recognized all that much as the one that's being abused, but I feel like this case kind of shines a little bit of light on that and gives hope for men in relationships that are like that.
Well, if anything, I think it just shines a light on the complexity of domestic violence.
Yeah. Multifaceted,
It's not
yeah.
like there is the physical aggression and everything, but I don't think people understand
The psychological.
And in fact, I was watching, I don't know, my my fellow Gen Xers will probably remember the show Grace Under Fire. It's about a woman who left her abusive husband, but it talked about the dynamic, how she would push his buttons on purpose to get him to hit her.
Yeah.
Like she did things on purpose to get that reaction out of him. And a lot of times there is that weird, crazy dynamic because in her mind that filled a need that she had won. She was righteous because he couldn't handle it, and so he hit her. So it's a weird psychological thing, and I think that's a lot of what comes into play, and what this trial hopefully brought to the light is that there's no clear-cut aggressor usually, and just because women are aggressive in a whole different way doesn't mean that that's not abusive, right?
Right.
So
I just found this on Louder with Crowder's report. Like he has all of his stuff on his website, which is actually really awesome. So number of women convicted of domestic violence has tripled in the last decade. New figure shown. 1,850 women were convicted of perpetrating the offense in 2006. Figure which rose to 5,641 in 2015. So they're finding that those numbers are increasing over the years.
But I also wonder how many of that. It would be interesting to see what the subset is of same sex.
I think this is out of UK. So under UK law, domestic violence and abuse is defined as incidences of controlling, coercion, threatening behavior, violence, or abuse between people who are or have been intimate partners or family members. This abuse can be psychological, physical, sexual, financial, or emotional, and can occur between partners, spouses, parents, children, or siblings.
So that's interesting.
It is interesting. It's sad, but it's interesting. This one I think came out in light of Lady Gaga's video that she brought out.
What video? I don't know. Okay.
Who's Lady Gaga?
Oh, you're hilarious.
You're cute. I love you. Hold on. See, hey, Lady Gaga, women commit domestic violence too. More, actually.
How does Lady Gaga like her meat?
Oh, I guess this is just... This is
rah, 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 rah. You know how a cat likes his meat?
Oh, this is, I guess, she brought out a video called Till It Happens to You. And I guess it's about domestic violence. So I guess this is in some of these responses. Where's the dates on these?
1992.
It would be nice to see dates, but hey, maybe it's at the bottom. I'm just not seeing it. No, I don't know.
What was that?
Rianne's getting distracted. But that's the other thing too, is I'm not really, I'm not somebody who sits here and like searches stuff all day long on my computer and social media and stuff. I'm actually trying to stay away from as much as I can and just go and look for things instead. But a lot of these different organizations and individuals that are reporting on it have like kind of drawn us to these different things. I don't know where I was going with that, but it seemed important at the time, and I lost my train of thought. So back to you. Mr. Alakai.
That tends to happen a lot. One of the other things that I found kind of interesting was, I don't remember her name, the psychiatrist that did the whole test with Amber Heard.
Boy, your dogs are loving you right now.
I know.
The dog ain't love.
I'm trying to stay composed here.
It's like I don't even exist when
Excuse me.
Alakai's here.
I don't. Please help me. I don't remember her name, but she was the psychiatrist that did the test with Amber Heard to determine whether or not she had post-traumatic stress. And I guess from what she was saying when she was called to the stand is she failed
Dawn
the
Hughes?
test. I think so, yeah.
Don Hughes, a clinical psychologist, said Johnny Depp inflicted sexual violence on Amber Heard. Hughes detailed one specific incident
No,
where
that
she
I
said,
think was the guy who was the expert witness.
which said Depp performed a cavity search on Heard. Is that...
No, that
doesn't sound like...
No.
For a minute it did, but now I'm like, once you started reading the description. But anyways,
I'll try.
She failed because she was exaggerating a lot, and basically what she did was she pulled a lot of stuff in the test where she was trying to make it seem like she did have PTSD when in actuality she didn't. Which to me, that's a sociopath. Like if you're...
Yeah, it keeps coming up as Dr. Dawn Hughes. She's an older lady with blonde hair.
I can't see her, but she was young.
She might be in her 40s, maybe late 30s.
The other one
40s.
I think the other one was in her. I don't know. She was younger than that, but anyways.
Okay.
I
Sorry
found
about
that.
that.
I found that interesting, just because I didn't even know stuff like that existed. But I mean, once I heard about it and saw what she was talking about, I was like, oh, that makes sense. But yeah, I do think that Amber Heard is a sociopath. Like honestly, yeah.
Yeah, she's definitely. Yeah.
Maybe it's just a bad picture.
I don't know. I'd have to look her up, but I don't remember.
I'm trying to help you out here. I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. I don't
My
remember.
Googling skills are not that great.
Oh,
Okay.
Goodness. I don't remember
different
any of the
lady.
names, to be honest. I don't even remember the TMZ guy's name. But
The psychologist hired by Johnny Depp's legal team, Dr. Shannon Curry, has returned to the stand to refute Amber Heard's diagnosis of post-traumatic stress disorder. This is according to Yahoo News.
what's her name again?
Dr. Shannon Curry.
That might be her.
Testifying for Amber Heard's defense on May 3rd, clinical psychologist Dr. Dawn Hughes said that the actress does suffer from PTSD stemming from domestic violence. So they have two opposing opinions on her so-called PTSD. Yay for Google.
Thanks, Google. Appreciate it.
Google.
Shout out to Google.
Yeah, actually got me what I needed really quickly. Doesn't happen very often, but when it does, it's nice. Or am I doing I might be doing maybe I'm on okay. That's my dog.
There's a dogfight going on over here. Speaking of dogfight, y'all should go see the new Top Gun.
I'm excited about it, honestly. Like I've heard a lot of good things about it. Seems to be very very American centric and very patriotic. So a lot of the leftists are probably their heads are probably exploding right now.
I don't know about that.
But I mean, yeah, I'm just hearing that overall it's a good film. Is what I'm hearing.
Sorry, I didn't mean to jump off the topic that we were originally on to just.
No, you're good.
Oh man.
Dude, babe, guess what? They're
butt.
showing 2,000 Mules at the theater in Cedar City now.
They actually got that. Well, of course. Like we're more of a conservative. We're more conservative, so that makes sense.
I didn't really have much more thoughts on the whole case. I mean, I thought I did, but that's pretty much where I kind of stand. It's a gnarly case, and
yeah,
I think Amber Heard is crazy and a sociopath. Johnny Depp, don't really know much else about.
Let's
all that
see. So Maverick looks like Top Gun
Isn't that a gas
2
station?
could be the first Tom Cruise movie to join the 1 billion club. Sequel now destined to gross north of 900 million globally, including 500 million or more in North America. That's pretty crazy, man. That's crazy.
It's funny because you always hear, oh yeah, the second movie wasn't as good, but with this one, I like the second one more than the first one, to be honest.
I don't even recall. I'll be honest. I don't even recall the first one.
First one was fine. I mean,
was it in the 80s?
I know, like that
Yes.
movie for its time was definitely like ahead of its time when it first came out. But I mean, I don't know.
1986. I was born in 82. I was 4 years old when it came out.
Dang.
I was just a young buck.
Alakai wasn't even a glimmer in his parents' eye at that time.
I don't even know if they were even together by then, were they? When
My
did they get
parents?
married? Yeah.
It's a good question. I don't know. I'll text my mom right now.
How old's your mom?
My mom, I don't know. My parents are in their, well, my dad's in his 60s. My dad's in his 60s. My mom's in her 50s.
Okay. Do we want to switch over to your second topic then, since we're kind of over
we might
the
as
Johnny Depp
well.
Heard?
We might
trial?
as well. How are we doing on time?
We're at about 45 minutes right now.
Okay, I feel like we're tough. We could go for 50 minutes. Well, maybe. I don't know. Really quick, just texting my mom. Okay. So other than that, the topic that I wanted to bring up was the idea of like where stories come from with different religions.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of notice with this whole idea of God and gods, there's like a similarity between a lot of them, and that's the whole idea of like the big three. You know, with Greek mythology, you've got Zeus, Poseidon, and who's the other one? Zeus, Poseidon, and
Hades.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And then with Norse mythology, you have Odin, Thor, and Loki, and then the other gods. And then with Christianity, you've got the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. God, Jesus, and the ghost of Christmas past. And notice like the similarities of like where do they all come from, and how do they all link up together? Like where's the original point, I guess, is what I'm thinking.
Like, when did religions like
where'd the whole idea of the big three come from, I guess? Is that what you're asking Google now?
That's a good question. I don't know. Like, you guys discuss. Let me think. How about what was the
it
first
literally just happens. I was sitting up straighter, right? But every adjustment, I keep sinking.
Yeah, I noticed. I looked over here and I was just like, oh, her mic's starting to fall down.
Well, it's like I started sliding.
Are you able to get it in your current state?
I'm fine. It'll work. It's fine. I'll just hold it like this.
I just Googled what were the first religions.
The first
Okay.
religions.
Here's the thing. Things always happen in threes. Like 3 is like a divine number. It's always been kind of like
Oh,
the
like 3 and
Fibonacci
7?
sequence and everything.
Mhm.
3, 3, 3, 3, 3.
My parents were married in 1986. Just
Oh, hey.
anyways.
That's beautiful. I like it.
They were married the year Top Gun came out.
Yeah.
In the year of Top Gun, my parents were married.
Which makes sense because my parents were only dating for like 6 months before they got married. So I think they went and saw that on like one of their date nights, if I can recall.
So they're saying that Hinduism was the approximate year around 2300 BCE.
Hinduism doesn't even have like a god, do they?
That's just what
Or am I
they're saying.
thinking
The
Buddhism?
oldest.
They have
That's just saying with the oldest religion. That's what they believe. They think. I don't know if that's true or not, but
anyways, it's just like, I don't know. It just seems so. But what really blows my mind and what I find really interesting is the idea of how like these religions. Well, Greek mythology and Norse mythology. I think with Christianity, they just kind of acknowledge that there's only one God, and that's that God is absolute. But with Greek mythology and Norse mythology, they acknowledge
And Roman.
they all acknowledge each other. So I find that kind of interesting. But it's also kind of crazy because in those times they would acknowledge each other's gods, like, oh, like your God or my God, or, you know. Am I making sense?
Yeah.
Like Christians would, like when Christians and Vikings would talk to each other, they would acknowledge, like, oh, your God has this heaven where everybody's all joyful and happy, and
there's a hell.
And then there's a hell, and then like the Christians kind of bash on Vikings' version of heaven, which they call Valhalla, Asgard, where they're like, well, your heaven is just as ridiculous. You guys all kill each other and drink together.
It's so true.
Which is essentially like, it sounds like heaven, like Christians' heaven is this whole, like, everybody's just happy all the time. And then with Vikings' heaven, Valhalla, it's like, it's just
massacre.
It's massacre, and it's a party. It's essentially.
It's like anything goes. We'll just sit and kill each other in battle and eat, drink, and be merry. And
yeah, it's like one religion encourages you to only do religious kind of things, and then the other religion is like, do whatever you want. And like,
it's
enjoy.
It's interesting because if you look at the viewpoint of the Viking gods and stuff, they focus on heaven being like the epitome of experiencing physical pleasure, right? Like the rush of killing and all that stuff, the eating and then the drinking, and like they loved all the physical pleasures, right? And then on the other hand, Christianity is all about denying yourself the physical pleasure so you can experience the spiritual enlightenment and all that sort of stuff.
Right.
So they're completely opposite in how they picture the afterlife or the death of after this life.
Yeah, which is crazy because with the Vikings, it's just like pretty much your heaven is what you're experiencing right now. You know, like.
But you just get to wake up every day and do it over again.
Yeah. I don't know.
It is interesting.
And I haven't really studied enough of Greek mythology to know a whole lot about them and like what their idea of. Is it Olympus? Is there heaven, or is that just
Olympus is the city, I believe. I don't
Okay.
know. I mean, I can look it up really quick.
I was gonna say what's Greek mythology's heaven called?
Mount Olympus.
Greek mythology heaven.
The gods live on Mount Olympus.
Uranus was Father Sky, the ancient Greek personification of the heavens. And for a while, the ruler of the known universe. Fatherless, he was conceived by Gaia alone, with
You're
whom he
looking up
forced.
the gods. Look up.
Isn't it?
No, you have to search. Where did the Greek gods, or where did the gods reside?
Where did the Greek
Live or reside, whatever.
Yeah, same thing. Oh, I guess you're right. It is Mount Olympus. Excuse me. I thought it was like a city within the heavens, but you're right. You're absolutely right. Where are the 3 places they live? Including... Why would they have 3 different places? Anyway.
Anyways, I just kind of thought that was interesting, and yeah. And then you have the idea of like with Mormonism, they have like the 3 kingdoms, and then like the spiritual outer darkness.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of found that a little interesting too. I watched.
It's the same with the dogma of the religion or of Catholic. You have hell, purgatory, and paradise. What is?
I don't know. I don't know what this guy's doing.
So weird.
But anyways.
All right. Well, I'm not.
Whoa.
What was that, sir?
Scared me a little bit.
I clicked close and it says thanks for subscribing. What the hell?
Well, you've subscribed to something.
Apparently, I subscribed to something.
Might want to check on that later.
Yeah, I'll have to check on that later. I was just looking for different articles that might help us with some of this stuff and like seeing the different parallels, and I'm not really finding what I was looking for. So
Speaking of which, follow me on OnlyFans. The link will be in the description. Just kidding. No.
Wait, what?
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
just
Alakai.
feet, just toes, just kind of dangling like this.
Dude,
just
there are
numerous
real.
videos
You know
of toes.
what? There are real websites where you can sell pictures of your feet for a side hustle. I am totally tempted to be taking some pictures of people's feet and just posting it.
I'm about to do it. I'm about to do
Well,
it.
Dude,
the
there
way
was a guy
the
who
way
paid
that
for
gas
his-
is right now, it's almost $5 a gallon. Well, it pretty much is. So we
It
might as well
is.
say it's $5 a gallon.
I saw it was $4.99 this morning. I was like, "Are you freaking kidding
Where
me?"
at?
$5 a gallon.
Maverick, Chevron, yes,
Was this their basic or was this the...
yes,
No!
yes.
The
Yep.
cheapest place in town to get gas. I remember when I first moved here 3 years ago.
It was still $4.89 at Smith's, but like any gas station off of any free, it was bad.
When I first moved here 3 years ago, gas was like $2.17. What?
Yep. Thank you,
Yep.
Biden. Ooh.
I did that. Need a bunch of those stickers.
Yeah, but they keep saying they're trying to gaslight us and say this is Putin's. I'm like, if the president of this country doesn't supposedly control gas prices, then how does the president of a country across the freaking world control our gas prices? Do you see
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like, it does not make sense.
And that does not make sense. Now, ladies and gentlemen of the suppository, the glove don't fit, you must quit.
It's a good saying. I'm going to remember that.
Yeah, for those who don't know what I'm talking about, look up the O.J. Simpson trial from South Park. It's hilarious.
O.J. Simpson. Anyways, that's all I really had for tonight, so.
Okay.
Jazz hands. That's what I'm doing.
Yay.
Anything else we want to add before we close, or is that?
No, I'm
that's
excited to show you the video that popped up when you heard me do that. Because it's really weird.
Okay, so what you're saying is it's time to close. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, guys,
gotta go
thank
to
you. Yeah, Mr. Alakai's got to get up early in the morning.
Yeah.
So everybody, thank you so much for watching. We really do appreciate it. And from our family to yours, good night.
See ya!
Bye.
Hello everyone, Jay Rhymes with the Periodic Review. Today's video is sponsored by viewers like you, so thank you. Hopefully we've earned your subscription today, so don't forget to click that subscribe button and hit that damn bell to turn on your notifications so you don't miss a content release. Check out the video links at the end of every video to view our previous content, as well as visit the description section for more links to enjoy. Thank you so much for watching today's video, and from my family to yours, good night.